in 2015 only, right? So the idea being that it won't be asked again. Nevertheless, I have mentioned one video link which was recorded by Byju's. I mean, I recorded it last year, I believe. So you can watch this link and see the understanding and explanation of one nation, one election. I've discussed every facet of it on what is the good, what is the bad, what can be challenge, limitation. So please watch the video if you have interest in knowing it genuinely. If you want to just know one point to impress your friends, sorry, this may not be the right place. Okay. This is the YouTube link for that. So I hope both these doubts and queries have been addressed. Clear? So please do not disrupt the chat section by posting these two queries. Something beyond that, which has not been asked in the examination, feel free. And I don't really want to also address one more query. Is monthly magazine reading important or not? See, I have told you what I feel is important for you to read. You have your own life. You are best. I mean, you know what is best for you. If you want to read it, good for you. If not, you are free to waste your time. According to me, it is extremely important, and that is what is solely important. Plus, Yojana Kurukshetra. Somebody does not want to, feel free. But don't keep on asking all these questions again and again. It makes you appear very silly. That's something that has been told for the past 10 days. Suddenly, I won't be changing my notion on that, right? So let's utilize this time to ask genuine questions about the topics. Okay? Haji Bhavna, what is answer? And don't mention can happen. And then we'll go 10 hours here answering your doubts because accordingly. So on is clearly seeing questions. 249, tell me, can Rajya Sabha alone do it? Yes, of course. Correct. Such authorization shall remain in force only for 1 year at a time? Yes, correct. The parliament is not bound to make laws. Yes, the parliament may make laws. May not make laws. Correct. So this month's after the end of authorization because of incorrect on the keyword. Okay. We have had now 7-8 days. I don't want you to make a mistake on this again. Okay. Moving on now to the in the constitution. Not as per the constitution, of course. Revision. It boils down to the same old story. Revision. The president shall give assent to such bills in 14 days. I think we had seen a question like this, that there is no time frame for the president to give his assent anywhere. It is not mentioned. This is for the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha needs to pass it in 14 days. And anyway, I hope now you understand. This is also wrong. A, only one. Okay. Moving on to the third question. Please mark the answer. Constitutional amendment bills, where it was a bill introduced by a non-minister, a private member. Such bills and Amendment Act 1971. Great. And so far, less than 100 amendments have been made. In the very first class, I had mentioned we have made 105 changes. If that is something did not strike you, then we had also seen the reservation for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. That was through the 104th Amendment Act. So we have seen that as well. So this is also wrong. D, none of the above. Okay. Moving on to the fourth question. Right? That's not correct. This statement is correct. Allocation provides for ministries and transaction provides for what? Very good. Cabinet committees, CCs. Excellent. So 2 is correct, 1 is wrong. The right answer is A, 1 only. And last question for the day. I'll give you a minute for this. Let's see how many. Advice of Council of Ministers binding on the President. One Article 7, Article 74. You have to remember. Fixing the maximum strength of Council of Ministers, which is what? 15%. 91st Amendment Act 2003. Right? Then reduction in the voting age from 21 to 18. 61st Amendment Act 1988 mentioned in your Lok Sabha slide. Obligatory on President to give assent to such bills. 1971. Discussed this 3-4 times now. Right? Which is the earliest? This is the earliest. B is the answer. Are we clear on this? And I had deliberately given options in such a fashion that all you had to know was this one, fourth one, because normally this is something which was known only, right? So anyway, that is all. Okay, let's begin our discussion for the day now. I have already explained, in case anybody wants to watch this video to get genuine information, exam oriented information, not some masala news, you can watch this. Okay, as well, I'm sure. Okay, Nikhil, Sameer, TH Kendi, Anita, Khushi, Kartikeyan, Anurag, Poonam, Nikki, Bas, Muskan. Oh, revision is nice, drain, right? If not for yourself, for the love of your parents, at least take the effort in the right direction, right? Please study sincerely. These are very simple questions. So we need to at least get 4 or 5 correct here. Anyway, let's now begin our discussion. Enough of bhashan. Let's come back to discussion these bills. So discussing the bills based on content. So remember, we saw the passage of ordinary bills. We saw the passage of financial bills, but type 1 only. Type 1 only. And we'll see type 2 today. Now, yesterday we discussed that the money bills has this kind of procedure, and this is the definition. Now coming to the passage of financial bills, type 1, what was the point of difference? Right? The point of difference was that the introduction part is the same, meaning it can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha, usually on the recommendation of ministers only, and also on the prior recommendation of the president, right? So these 3 things are the same as money bill, similar to money bill. What is the point of difference? The point of difference is in the passage, meaning when things are passed. So there, Raj Sabha has equal powers in all other aspects. Joint sitting is possible, passing with modifications is possible, all such things are possible. Clear? Okay. Now we'll discuss financial bill type 2. What is the other kind of financial bill? See, when it comes to type 2 financial bill, I'll give a simple example here, starting with a question. So tell me, how many judges do we have in the country? Tell me. Number of judges in the Supreme Court. How many Supreme Court judges do we have? Any idea? Okay, we have 34 judges, CJI plus 33 other judges. 34 judges. Though I had mentioned this figure in the very first class, but maybe difficult to recollect. No problem. 34 judges. And you'll be surprised that there are so many cases pending in the Supreme Court. When I say so many, I mean to say 70,000. Roughly 70,000 cases are pending in the Supreme Court. Let's say you want to increase the number of judges. Okay, you want to increase the number of judges to say 50. to solve those pending cases. Clear? What can we do? Now, when you want to increase the number of judges, it's very, very easy. There is already a law in the country that is called Supreme Court Number of Judges Act 1956. You just have to modify the law and increase the number. It's as simple as this. Now, when anybody brings such a bill, like for the last time, the last time this change was made in 2019. Guys, I am not discussing judiciary. Don't panic. We'll discuss this in detail later on. I'm just giving an example. So take it in the spirit of example only. Okay. So when this bill was brought in the House, it was introduced, it was passed, and now the Supreme Court judges number was increased from 31 to 34. Okay. Now, when you increase number of judges, it is an ordinary bill only. It has got no monetary provision. This bill has got nothing that deals with any kind of expenditure. Right now, no expenditure. Increase the judges. But the problem is, when you increase the number of judges, in future, you will hire more judges. You'll have to pay salary for those judges, allowances. All these salaries, allowances, etc., they will come from which account? CFI only. So think of it, passing this bill has got no impact on CFI, nothing. But because you pass this bill, right, in future, it will involve expenditure from CFI. Such bills are termed as financial bills type 2. Okay, so they have no such impact on the CFI right now, the Consolidated Fund of India right now, but in future they are going to have an impact on CFI. These are ordinary bills that contain provisions involving expenditure from the CFI in future. There is nothing special about these bills. They can be introduced in either house. Prior recommendation of president not required. And when it comes to passing the bill, equal powers. So in every aspect, they are just ordinary bills, no special provision whatsoever. Are we clear on this? No special provision whatsoever. Clear? Now comes the one single point of information. Only special condition here is that for second reading, President's permission is needed. Meaning, when you want to, what is second reading? By any chance, if anybody knows what is second reading? No? Okay, great. Second reading means discussion. Very good. So second reading is discussion. So for discussing the bill in the House, you need the president's permission, but nothing beyond that. Okay. So the bill is introduced and direct voting takes place. For discussion, the president has to give permission and okay, discuss. Are we clear, everyone? Okay. This is the financial bill type 2. So I hope now you understand what is type 1, what is type 2. So please answer a statement today Yes or no? 10 seconds. A for yes, B for no. All financial bills are money bills. Mark your poll. All financial bills are money bills. Of course, very good. Others? Basic Venn diagram, no understanding? This is the larger circle of financial bill. Inside this is a smaller circle of money bill. This is the entire block called financial bills. Inside that, some of them are called money bills. So what do we say? All money bills are financial bills. All financial bills are not money bills. Are we clear on this? Those who said yes. Okay. That's it. We are done with these type of bills. Let's now look at one small point before we move further. Whenever the session of a house comes to an end, when I say session, so I mean, what is that? Prorogation. Session comes to an end. New session starts. What happens to the pending things? If I was discussing any bill, think of it like this. Today we are discussing some topic. If we end this today, we meet tomorrow, I take up the topic we discussed previously and start from there. Just like that. If the monsoon session is over, when the houses meet in the next session, the bills are kept there only. The houses come, MPs come, start discussing the bills. But when the house gets dissolved, firstly, which house gets dissolved? Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? Tell me, which house gets dissolved? Okay, thankfully, this is cent%, I believe. Yes. Oh, some of you have mentioned Rajya Sabha. So, okay. So, Lok Sabha gets dissolved, not a Rajya Sabha. All right. Okay. So, when the Lok Sabha gets dissolved, what happens? What happens is every bill that is pending in the Lok Sabha, which was present there, discussion is going on, all the bills are thrown away. Remember your last day in every semester in school and college, right? And last day in college, last examination, then you throw all the notes. In your mid-sem examinations, you don't throw the notes because notes are required for the end year examination. But when the exam is over, you throw all the notes, not the ones who are going to get a back, of course, you have to keep it, but others would throw it, right? So, same thing here. WRT with respect to N. Siva sir. I think you have asked this twice now. What, sir? What are we teaching? What is the doubt? What is going to happen, sir? Right? So, okay, don't go back to your school days and all. Relax. Come back here again. So, the same thing happens when the houses, when the Lok Sabha is dissolved, tenure is over, all the bills pending in Lok Sabha are thrown away in the dustbin. Think of it. So when the new Lok Sabha comes, it has to start from scratch, meaning again the same drama of notice has to be given, 7 day, 30 day. Again, somebody has to introduce. Again, somebody has to discuss committees, etc. All that starts again. But nothing happens when the sessions come to an end. Now, a bill pending in the Lok Sabha lapses, ends, dead, is dead, is thrown away. Whether it was originating in Lok Sabha or it was transmitted to it by Rajya Sabha, whether Rajya Sabha passed a bill and sent it there or the bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha only, dead, all thrown away. Not just this, any bill that Lok Sabha has passed and has been sent to Rajya Sabha and is pending there, that's also dead, thrown away. So think of it like this. So I gave this example in one batch, and somebody asked, "Sir, what is this?" So I'm very afraid to make this statement, but let me take a with a very strong heart tell you, just for you to understand. So what we normally say in just a very lighter vein is that whatever bill Lok Sabha has seen with its dirty eyes, those bills are over, dead. Now, it is just a way of saying that if the bill has been seen by Lok Sabha, the bill is dead. Don't ask me what is dirty eyes, because I get these doubts in mail also. Sir, what is dirty eyes? Right? So I don't want to see that again. So it is just a way to explain things. Are we clear? Every bill that the Lok Sabha has seen and is yet to be passed is all dead. Clear? Everybody? Okay. That's it. In all other cases, the bill remains intact. It's in the House only. If the Rajya Sabha has introduced a bill, no problem. If the bill is pending in Rajya Sabha only, not seen by Lok Sabha, no problem. If the bill has been passed and is sent to the President for signature, no problem. If both houses are fighting, joint sitting has been called, no problem. In all other cases, the bill will not lapse. In only these two cases, the bill lapses. Clear? Everybody? No? Okay. If it is so clear, so nice, then solve this question, please. Let's see how clear that is. Paste master is here. Yes, here. Please mark A as the answer. It has not been passed by Lok Sabha. Shall not lapse. Yes or no? The bill which is pending in Rajya Sabha but has not seen by Lok Sabha will not lapse. Absolutely correct. It is only that a bill passed by Lok Sabha but pending in Rajya Sabha lapses. A bill pending in Rajya Sabha not passed by Lok Sabha will not lapse. Why? Because the bill has not been seen with the dirty eyes of Lok Sabha. Correct. Now, guys, please tell me, nothing happens. It means end of session, right? House is the sitting. Sessions are prorogued by the president. Very good. So a bill pending in Lok Sabha lapses, nothing happens to the bill. On prorogation, the bill remains intact. Somebody is saying House end of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. No, no, no. Please don't use this word. House end of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. No. What is this and? Choice of great. Finance bill to the Rajya Sabha, it can amend or reject. Tell me yes or no. Yes, of course. A finance bill can be amended or rejected. Finance bill means financial bill type 1 also, money bill also. Some of those financial bills which are called type 1 financial bills, they can be amended. Are we clear on this? Don't type no at least now. I'm telling you, it's wrong. Joint sitting possible, passing with modification possible. So one type of financial bills can be modified. Are we clear? So one is correct. Okay. When the Lok Sabha transmits money bill to Rajya Sabha, it cannot amend or reject the bill. It can only make recommendations, can only suggest changes. This is correct. In case of those specific kind of bills, right, it can only make recommendations, right? Suggesting changes means recommendations only. I cannot predict exactly what word UPSC will ask. Okay. Now, in the case of disagreement between the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, there is no joint sitting for money bill. Yes or no? There is no joint sitting for money bill. But a joint sitting becomes necessary for a finance bill. joint sitting is mandatory for a finance bill. In your yesterday's class notes, please go and have a look. Here, keywords have to be focused upon. 3 is wrong. B, only 2 is the right answer. If you look at it, it was not a difficult question actually, frankly, right? Lord Sabha can reject finance. Please, let me tell you something very interesting about this, which nobody observed. And observe the words carefully. What is this? Finance bill. What have you been studying? So, can you understand the difference? Right now, some of you who have not studied budget, you will think, oh, it's the same thing, right? No, it is not the same thing. Actually, finance bill words on the part of UPSC. UPSC use finance bill. And if you use this as in the true meaning of finance bill, it is actually money bill. These things are there. They will happen in the examination hall, right? So don't panic. Always apply common sense. Clear? Does a bill contain? You don't means are correct, right? If somebody knows Hindi, look at this. Innocent as our current government, of course, in their side only. Legislator, if the government 0 hour and half an hour discussion. So if you remember the timeline, which I highly doubt some of you would remember, but still others who remember, the house starts very early at 11 a.m. and from 11 to 12 we have question hour. From 12 to 1 we have 0 hour. Then from 1 to 2 p.m., you know, our MPs are old people, right? They get tired. Like some of you get tired after sitting in the house and enjoying for 1.5 hours, get tired. They also get tired. And then after lunch, when they come, this is where you have the legislative work. I would have wanted to write business here, but if I write business, some of you would say, sir, what business? Which business of government? So, legislative work. It is in this duration that all the bills are passed, discussed, etc. 2 to 6 p.m. Now, a small point to observe. Since 2014, Raj Sabha follows the exact opposite pattern. Okay, that is 11 to 12, they have 0 hour, and 12 to 1, they have question hour. This also helps them in the sense that, Bhuvnesh, wait, I'll explain what is 0 hour. Have some patience, man. Come on. So what it does is it also helps the ministers come to Rajya Sabha and answer questions, right? So this timing has been changed for Rajya Sabha. They have done it on their own. These things are not mentioned in the constitution. Are we clear? Don't ask me which article, because there is no article for all these things. Now, let's firstly understand what is question hour. The very first hour in the parliament is called the question hour. So, couple of basic things first. What's the reason? What's the purpose? What's the logic of having question hour? This question hour is a time given to all the MPs to elicit, get, obtain. I'm telling you the meaning of this word elicit. Please pay attention. To get, to obtain. Information on matters of public importance. Getting information from the government. Okay. Also, plus keep the government in check, and hold it accountable. Hold it accountable. That's there. Now, the idea is that this is the R which the MPs use to inquire about the government's views on various issues, its policy inclination, what steps are being done, taken, etc. So, three types of questions can be asked. Short notice is rarely used. It is not being used. In the last 10-15 years, we have never used short notice question. So, what we use is starred question, starred or unstarred. Starred question is called starred because in front of this question, star asterisk mark is there. They are called starred question. Now, they are also referred to as green paper questions. Why? Because they are printed on a green piece of paper. So somebody who tries to act very over smart can also say, oh, green paper questions. He or she is referring to this only, green paper questions. Anyway, now, what is a starred question? When you want to ask a question verbally, orally, that is called a starred question. When you ask a question verbally or orally in the house, the minister has to respond also orally or verbally. There only. You ask and they respond. Starred question. Are we clear on this? Now, per MP, maximum 5 per MP. So every MP can give notice that I want to ask. You can give notice for 5 questions only, right? Not more than that. Now, what happens is you cannot immediately get a response for these questions, right? It's not that some question are like your classroom, you ask any stupid question and the faculty responds. No, you have to ask this question 15 days beforehand. Are we clear? 15 days beforehand. This is minimum. So let us say you want to ask the question today. You have to inform this 15 days beforehand, meaning you should have told maybe on the 20th of or the 21st of August only, given to the speaker the information that I want to ask this question. Anshika, what is meaning of green paper? I cannot simply give you any nice information. Nothing, right? I explained this. These questions are printed on a green piece of paper. So a lot of people also try to, in a very stylish manner say green paper questions. That's it, right? Okay. Now 15 days of time is given. See, why is time given? Don't ask me, sir, why 15 days? Why not 12 days? Don't make a silly statement. But yes, your question, why is time given, is important. Understand this point. You are going to ask a question from the minister. A minister commands an entire ministry comprising of 6-7 departments, 20-30 divisions. You cannot ask him GK questions there. Be realistic. Is it possible for him to know everything? No, right? So it may be challenging, right? So the point is that when it comes to these starred questions, the idea is you ask a question, the presiding officer gets your question. Now, it's not just one MP who's asking a question. 100, 200 MPs are giving notice. I want to ask a question. I want to ask a question. I want to come on TV. No problem. So how do we choose a question? Tell me. Questions are because every day you have only 1 hour. So how many questions? Maximum 20 questions per day. So 20 questions are set. Are we clear? 20 questions. Questions are chosen by lottery system. The correct word of it for it is draw of lots. Now, of course, 20 questions will not be possible, right? 20 questions will not be possible. Largely 3-4 questions only, or 5-6 questions are asked. On some days, all 20 can get responded. But normally it's only 4-5 questions that get responded. It's just 1 hour, right? So if you were given the chance to ask a question and your question number was 14 and only 10 questions could be asked, time is over. Your chance is gone. Khatam. It is not carried forward next day. It's like kaun banega crorepati, right? Fastest fingers first. If somebody plays the entire episode, people sitting there keep on sitting. Chance is gone. Are we clear? Now, when this question is asked, the minister responds. Minister can prepare the answer properly because he has obtained the question 15 days beforehand only. 15 days beforehand. So minister will come to you, an IS officer. I mean, some of you, of course, clearly, IS officer, and will tell them, please prepare these questions, prepare the answer, and you have to prepare the answer. Right? Look at this situation. Right now, you are writing answers which will be checked by some subject experts here. Suddenly, your answers will be read in the entire country. Look at the elevation of respect and status. Today's motivation is this only. Okay? That if you want your answers to be read in the parliament, please work hard. Okay. Now coming to the start question again. So the minister has obtained the answer from you on that designated date when the speaker, the chairman in both houses, they come. Time starts. The speaker or the presiding officer sees the list. Okay, question number 1. Yes, Mr. ABC, your question. Ask your question. Then you get up and you will ask your question to the minister. What kind of question can be asked? I'll give you an example of a question that was asked. For example, what can you ask? So let's say some MP asks a question. So he'll get up and say, will the minister of electronics and information technology be pleased to state whether the government is taking steps to regulate the growth of artificial intelligence in the country or not? If if yes, give details. Whether the government intends to bring a law on artificial intelligence or not. If yes, give details. And what steps is the government taking to develop infrastructure, expertise, skilling, research, etc. in the field of artificial intelligence? Question asked. Now you sit down. Now the presiding officer says, yes, minister, respond. And the minister gets up and reads from the paper. He can read from the paper also. It is allowed. It is not cheating. Don't shout cheating, cheating. It's okay. He or she can read from the paper the answer. Once the minister reads the answer, the entire house can ask the minister supplementary questions on that topic, meaning additional questions can be asked. Are we clear? There is no limit to how many questions you can ask, but normally 3-4 questions are asked, and anybody can ask these supplementary follow-up. Supplementary would refer to follow-up questions. Based on what the minister said, you can ask follow-up questions. Are we clear? Everybody? Okay. So this is with respect to the Shreyansh quick summary. But I'm still between the topic. I'm still inside the topic. I've not even finished the topic. What will happen to you, yaar? I mean, what is this, guys? Okay. So this is how a starred question is asked. Clear? There is no limit whatsoever to the type of questions you can ask. But of course, if you ask any kind of question which is personal, that please, will the Minister for Home Affairs be pleased to inform what he had for lunch 15 days ago? Sorry, nonsense. Don't ask these personal questions. You please stay on the topic. Like some of you ask these kind of questions here also, right? Okay. Are we clear? This is what is a starred question. Clear? So normally follow-up questions are asked on the spot, and there is no limit to it. But because other 19 people are waiting with their questions, so you have to limit it. Don't keep on allowing people to ask questions. Otherwise, the other people will never get a chance only. Clear? Okay. This is a start question. Minimum 15 days time. Now, don't ask me, sir, maximum. There is no time limit because your question may never be chosen also. If you are that unlucky person, your question will never be chosen. Clear? Bhuvnesh, absolutely perfect recipe for being thrown out of the class. If this continues, this behavior, you are just the mehman of 2 or 3 more sessions from with me. And if this behavior continues, Mr. Bhuvnesh, we'll have to throw you out of the class. Okay. Mayank Badwani, ears open. I mentioned there is follow-up questions are asked on the spot. On the spot. Clear? Okay. But what if you want some facts? See, the problem here is that sometimes some MP needs lot of facts and details. How much money has the government been spending, etc. on these things. I want to know those facts. You please give me facts. Don't give me these basic kind of things, right? So what if I want to know some fact? For example, let's say somebody asked a question. Will the Minister for Environment, Forest, Climate Change be pleased to state that whether government is aware that many a time wildfire erupts in the Simlipal National Park, Biosphere and the Tiger Reserve, causing major loss to the natural resources? If so, what steps has the central government taken to control, to curb the wildfire incidents, right, which occur every year? Whether the central government has made any policy, any concrete action plan or not. If there is a plan, I want details of all the plans. How much losses have been caused in the last 5 years? Please give details. Now, this is just a fact. Are you clear? Just a fact. As far as facts are concerned, it makes no sense for the minister to get up and read the facts. It will waste the time of the house. So we give an alternative to our MPs that, see, if you're asking a factual question, then there is no need to worry. You simply do what? You simply take some time, write a question, give it to me, the presiding officer. I will send the question to the minister. The minister can give you a written answer. Take the answer home, read it to your heart's content. Are we clear on this? That is called an unstarred question. So unstarred questions require a written answer. Written answer. Now, if the answer is in a written form, you cannot ask supplementary questions because firstly, you have to do what? You have to read all the responses, understand it, and then ask supplementary questions in future. That is why unstarred questions are those questions where the minister answers in a written form and hence you cannot ask any supplementary question. Clear? So this is basically used to get data or information from the minister. Clear? Now, on every day, 230 questions can be given notice for, and the minister has to respond, the various ministers. Maximum 230 per day plus 25 other questions for states under, we have something called President's Rule. We'll discuss this later on. Sometimes in some states, center is ruling. That's called President's Rule. So if there is any such state, for those states, additional 25 questions can be asked. 230 questions notice can be given. And what happens for this? The speaker will say, the 230 questions chosen were these, and the answers have been given to the House. The concerned MPs who asked the questions, please collect your answers from the office. So you can go and collect from the office your answer in case you have asked an unstarred question. That's how it is done. Here also, it is minimum 15 days time. Are we clear? Again, I'm telling you, it is minimum 15 days time. The moment you ask a question, you give information to the presiding officer. Presiding officer will send the question to the concerned minister for him to prepare the answer. It is not on the spot, extempore. No, it is a proper time given to the minister to respond. Clear? Unstarred questions. Right? Now, one more thing. Sometimes, if you want an urgent response, then you can ask a question which will be responded to within 10 days, maximum 10 days. This is called a short notice question, where again you can ask and answer orally and the minister responds verbally to you. Here also supplementary questions, follow-up questions can be asked, but only 2 follow-up questions are allowed. Short notice questions are rarely used. Okay? In the past also, they have rarely been used. At least in the last 10-20 years, rarely used. Clear? Now a very important piece of information. Question R does not take place on 2 occasions. Does not take place on, number 1, budget speech day, and number 2, president speech day. On these 2 occasions, we have no question R. So this is under Article 87, and when the finance minister presents the budget, on that day you must have observed that the budget is presented at 11 and it starts at 11 directly. No question R on that day. See, this idea of question R in India, of course, is of British origin, started in 1893. In fact, originally, we did not broadcast these things. For the first time in 1991, it was broadcasted, not live. Recordings were made available on Doordarshan. Later on, since the 1990s, now we have live telecast of question hour. Now on the Lok Sabha TV also, you can go and watch the previous videos also, where you can see how the ministers respond, how the questions are asked, etc. Clear? That is all as far as question R is concerned. We are done with the question R. And one more thing, it is all dependent on the presiding officer. Whether you can ask a question, whether your question is genuine or not, it all depends on the presiding officer. He can refuse to allow you to ask a question. The presiding officer can also allow the minister not to answer the question. If you ask a difficult question which is showing government in very bad light, then very simple, very simple. What can be done? The speaker can say, sorry, this is not a good question, will not be asked, rejected. Or, and very good, very simple. Let's say you ask the question, right? Minister then is absent on that day. What happens? Let us say you wanted to ask the Home Minister a question. You gave 15 days prior notice, and on that day you have come all dressed up because your photo will be on TV. You have come, and the speaker said, "Okay, ask the question," and you ask the question. Now we all look towards the Home Minister. He's absent on that day. What happens? What happens? Tell me. Nothing happens. Next question. Simple. No punishment. Nothing. Next question. Are we clear? So if a difficult question is there in the examination UPSC, what do? Skip the question. Move to the next question. If that's also difficult, next question. If the entire paper is difficult, move out of the examination hall only and go back home and enjoy. Okay, that is all as far as question hour is concerned. Now, one such problem with question hours is that the idea of question hour is it gives ministers too much time to prepare questions and all. But sometimes we want a response immediately, right? We want response immediately. And what's that immediate response? The response would be the fact that uh, let's say the government should respond on the border issues with China, or you want the government to respond on the Manipur issue, you want the government to respond on the rise in price of tomatoes. We can't wait 20 days. Nonsense. These are topics which are plaguing the nation. We want a response today only. I ask you a question right now and you say 20 days later on. And what's the point of the question? Right? In 20 days, the price of tomatoes has come down now. So the point here is that we, India, thought of a unique situation that we will create a concept called zero hour. So what is zero hour? Zero hour is this concept where the MPs get a chance to ask a question. It is used to raise matters without any prior notice. Meaning, when I say no prior notice, I mean same day notice. Notice for question on the same day before 10 a.m. Before 10 a.m., you give notice to the presiding officer. Presiding officer will choose a few questions which he or she feels are okay, and will then immediately inform the ministers that, see, these are questions which will be asked at 12 p.m. Please prepare the answer accordingly. You hardly get 1 hour of time to prepare these question answers. This is called zero hour. The purpose is to represent people's voice in the parliament, plus ensuring the accountability of ministers. See, in very simple words, though this is a topic of governance, accountability refers to blameworthiness, responsibility. When you are given power, you are also responsible, accountable for your behavior, for your actions or inactions. Clear? That is called accountability. So we want the ministers to be held responsible for the things they are not doing or the bad things they are doing. That is called accountability, responsibility, answerability, blameworthiness. Clear? So this is a very unique concept that we have thought of on our own, hence we call it an Indian innovation. Clear? Zero hour. No need to give any kind of prior notice. Same day before 10 a.m. come, go to the presiding officer, speaker or chairman and say, I want to ask this question. He will find your question and he'll say, oh, difficult for minister, rejected. Oh, easy question, selected. No, not this. He will select some questions and then will pass on these questions to the concerned minister, and the minister can answer those questions. So 0 hour simply means an opportunity to ask a question on the same day and get a response on the same day. I hope you can understand the difference between these two. Yes or no? Tell me, what is the difference? What is 0 hour? Could not get it properly, sir. Now you get it properly? Okay. In the 0 hour, only verbally questions are asked, not written. It will make no sense. Okay, Muni, then it will all questions go to 0 hour. How will all questions go to 0 hour? The presiding officer is there, right, to decide. Don't worry. If you ask a very technical question which requires a lot of facts, the speaker can simply tell you, please ask this in unstarred question. Simple. It is not something you ask directly. There is a presiding officer. He will take care of all these things. Yes or no? Okay. Question only. Also of KBC in 1 hour. Story. Presiding officer is biased. Then biased. TED. Clear? Lottery system ensures unbiased choice of questions so that every MP, young or old, junior or senior, important, unimportant, gets an opportunity to ask the question. Now, what if in the question hour, the minister has responded, but you don't like the response of the minister? You feel the minister is hiding something, giving you wrong information, giving you factually incorrect information, lying. If you believe and you are not satisfied with the answer, you can again complain to presiding officer that presiding officer, I don't like his answer. Wrong answer. He is lying. He is deliberately giving me wrong facts. And he's behaving like a UPSC aspirant. I'm asking something, he's answering something else. That's possible. Right? Clear, everybody? So, for that, there is a separate window. That window is Monday alternate every evening. That is called half an hour discussion. Every Monday alternate from 5:30 to 6 p.m. we have what is called half an hour discussion. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now, please don't ask me why not Tuesday, Thursday, because this time we can get 3 days. If you go for Tuesday, Thursday alternate, then Saturday is a holiday. This is meant for discussing a topic of question hour if the MP is not satisfied with the minister's response. Okay? Now, you have to raise a concern within 3 days. Within 3 days of the question hour. Don't come running. That speaker, in 1974 I had asked a question. Minister gave a wrong answer. Ask him to answer again. Minister is dead. Right? He cannot answer again. Within 3 days of your question hour, when the answer was given, you please come to the presiding officer and complain. And in this case also, the presiding officer will give the minister 3 days time. At least to answer again. And when will the minister answer? Every evening, Monday evening, Wednesday evening, Friday evening. Clear? Pavitra, first point of 0 hour. We have created this innovation. We have come up with this, right? That leads to one thing. In other countries, people are giving the ministers 15 days time to respond. What if we want the minister to respond immediately? So we came up with 0 hour. What is the definition of 0 hour? 0 hour means the time between question hour and lunch break. That's the actual definition of 0 hour. But because the Rajya Sabha has changed their timing, so we can't now call it that. This is the parliamentary proceedings that take place for the first 2 hours every day, except two occasions: the budget presentation day and the president's address day. Are we clear? On these 3 days, okay? Article. Yes, Yashi, absolutely correct. Motion means proposal. That you want to ask? Legislative work means 45 or 50. Have patience. Okay, very good, sir. Before you pose a question to me, also how to ask supplementary questions. For other information, please see the video recorded again. MP, they will have a separate session, orientation session, to tell you what to do in the house. And if you find it difficult, sit there, observe other MPs and behave accordingly. Till then, have the patience, focus on UPSC. Now, motions. What are motions? Motions are proposals. Alternative word, synonym of motion is proposal. It's the same thing. Proposals. So, motions are proposals which are brought before the House to obtain, get a decision or an opinion of the House. That is called a motion. These motions are not mentioned in the Constitution. Like I said, for proceedings, it is not mentioned. These motions are also not mentioned in the Constitution. Okay. So after 12 minutes, don't ask me which article. There is no article. Please pay attention. Okay. These proposals can be formal, can be informal. Formal meaning written properly. Informal, casually, asked verbally, orally. Sometimes some proposals require voting, other proposals no voting. For example, we saw uh, the introduction of bills. Yes or no? Bills. Now, how many stages are there to pass a bill? You will say, sir, 3 readings are there: first reading, second reading, and third reading. Fair enough. When I bring the bill for the first time, I call it what? Introduction. So, I am bringing a proposal in the House. I am bringing a proposal in the House. That's also a motion. When I have brought a proposal, some MP can say, sir, presiding officer, I find this bill very technical, right? Very complicated. Please send the bill to a committee. I am raising a proposal to send the bill to committee. That's also a proposal, right? Then one more proposal can be, finally, after 2-3 days of discussion, MPs are tired. Some MP says, sir, enough. We are getting bored now. I raise a proposal that let's vote on this bill. Let's see how many of us agree on it. That's also a proposal. So everything done in the House is actually a proposal. Somebody proposes. In your life also, when you are sitting in a group of friends, you say, let's go and watch a movie. Let's watch Jawan this weekend, right? So you are raising a proposal. Somebody else says, no, 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 that ticket is all houseful. Proposal is rejected, right? Are we clear on all these things? This is what is proposal or motion. Now, in general, motions can be of 4 types. This is not important for the UPSC. Are we clear? Not important for UPSC. Clear? So I have just mentioned it. I'll explain very briefly. If you can't understand, here the video again, recorded one. If you still can't understand, ignore it. It won't be asked in the examination. It has not been so far. It will not be in future also. Clear? Okay. So, whenever any person, any MP in the house brings a proposal for the first time, unique new proposal, and that is a very formal written proposal where voting is mandatory, that is called a substantive motion. It is also called a resolution. A very good example would be Article 61, Article 67B, etc. Dangerous, right? Dangerous words I mentioned now for some of you. What is 67B? Complete chaos. Tell me. Same people. I don't want your responses. I want the response of those people who ask me questions. Okay. Article 67B is the removal of the vice president. Article 61 is the impeachment of the president. So here you have to give in writing why you want to remove the vice president, why you want to impeach the president, and voting is required. Without voting, this makes no sense, right? So these are called substantive motions or also called resolutions. Clear? Then, as I was discussing here, that if somebody has brought a bill, a new bill was brought, after the person reads the bill, some MP gets up and says, Sir, I raise a motion, I raise a proposal, let's send that bill to the committee. So I am raising a proposal, pointing out at somebody else's proposal and asking the House what to do. I am raising a proposal, asking somebody or pointing out at somebody else's proposal and asking House what to do. Or when I say, let's vote on that proposal. So my proposal is to vote on somebody else's proposal. Are you getting this point here? This is what is called a subsidiary motion. They arise from pre-existing motions. Then substitute motion. When you are discussing something and the MPs are getting bored, let's say the government is discussing a point that China is renaming the parts of Arunachal Pradesh. Discussion is going on. Suddenly, when MP says, Sir, I raise a proposal. You forget all this. You firstly tell me, how has the government allowed the Chinese to uh, change, modify the line of actual control? You please respond first. So basically, what happens is a discussion is going on in the House. I raise a proposal to remove the discussion and bring a new discussion. Replacement. Substitute motion. Clear? And lastly, we have closer motion. We'll discuss this under budget. Very, very simple. Hopefully today, or if not today, then tomorrow, the first half an hour, we'll discuss what is closure motion. Clear? That's it. Done. Nothing more than this is required. What is important is these. Very, very important. Please know the facts about these things. They are specific motions which have names. As I said, motions are not mentioned in the Constitution. So please don't ask me which article, because there is no article. Arey, Roshan, so smart. Tomorrow is a holiday. Day after tomorrow. Okay? How amazing. If the same thing was used to respond to the questions I ask, things would have been different. Anyway, let's take a break. After break, come back at 7 and we'll discuss all these very important specific motions. Break, please, guys. Break till 7. Be back at 7. Sick, guys. Okay. Break, please, guys. Great. Happens, sir. You stuck in so confidence. In the majority means nothing but majority. So if you are saying no confidence means there is no majority. So we are talking about the formation of government in the house. Government formation takes place only in which house? Tell me quickly. In the Lok Sabha. And which article is that? Article 75, clause 3. Right? So the house sometimes, house meaning the people in Lok Sabha, MPs, can express their want of confidence in the ministers, meaning if at any point of time the opposition feels that the government does not have majority in the house, more people hate the government than they love the government, they can bring this proposal. Now this proposal is introduced only in the Lok Sabha. Why? Government formation in Lok Sabha. And this can be brought only once every session, not every day, once every session. This requires the support of at least 50 MPs. At least 50 MPs have to press the button, meaning give in writing that yes, yes, we hate this government. And then the speaker will accept it. Now, why do you hate this government? Why don't you like this government? No reason is required. Just like that. In my dream yesterday, it came that many people in the house don't like the government. Okay. So no grounds are required to be provided. No grounds are needed for bringing this kind of motion, right? Now, this motion can be brought against the entire government only. You cannot selectively remove a minister. You can only do what? You can only remove the entire government. So it can be introduced against the whole government and not against select ministers. And if this proposal is passed, if the opposition brings a motion which says that uh, we don't like this government, how many of you MPs of Lok Sabha agree with us? Press the yes button. If more MPs press the yes button, right? If more MPs. So there is this guy called Sanchit. I don't know, he just cuts, copies, and pastes things. So while we're discussing motion, he has copied and pasted it. Look at what he has pasted. Let me read it. So he has pasted motion, define and identify the different body movements, demonstrates the different types of body movements. Sir, to cut, copy, paste also, some knowledge is required. You have copy pasted physical motion. We are. What is this here? Anyway. So nakal ke liye akal is what we say. So coming back now, that this NCM. So opposition, of course, why will ruling party bring this motion against its own MPs? Makes no sense, right? Now, Asha asks, why laughing? Asha, because you're not present here. That is why you don't know what is happening in the class. Another example. So Bhuvnesh, the purpose is that we need to check whether the government at every point of time holds majority in the house or not. It is very important because you are only forming the government because you have majority in the house. Now, one very important thing is that no confidence motion needs to be passed by simple majority. So in the slides of your types of majority, you'd see that motions, right? The NCM, etc., they are passed by a simple majority only. So one more thing, if passed, mention here by simple majority, then the government must ideally resign. Why ideally resign? Ideally resign means what? It means it is not mentioned anywhere that you must resign. But if you don't have the confidence, if the members don't have confidence in you, if you don't have the majority in a parliamentary system, you should go. And that is why if you don't resign, the president can throw you out because you have lost the majority in the house. The house has lost confidence in you. Exact same thing. Clear? So this is the no confidence motion brought by the opposition. It is not mentioned in the constitution, but is mentioned under Rule 198 of the Lok Sabha rules. See, this motion is a pretty common one. So far, this motion has been brought 28 times. And one very important thing, this NCM has never been passed in our country. Never ever been passed in our country. I'll come to, some of you may have this problem that, sir, but Atal Bihari Vajpayee, don't worry, I'll explain that also. This motion, NCM, has never been passed, ever. The big problem is, if such a motion is brought by the opposition, the MPs have to vote in favor of their party. So if I'm a BJP MP, I hate this government, I can't vote against BJP. I have to vote in favor of my party only. Meaning, I have to vote against NCM. No, I love this government. I'm in favor of this government. Are they clear? So you cannot vote against your party. It's mandatory. Highest or maximum it was brought against Indira Gandhi. 15 times. You'll be surprised. And every time it was rejected. First time, excuse me, 1963. In 1963, for the first time, this NCM was passed. First time. Sorry, brought, not passed, brought against Pandit Nehru by the JB Kripalani and the other people, because they were questioning that the government has been ineffective in dealing with the Chinese incursion, Indo-China issue. But that's not the problem. The point is that you cannot bring these motions for these things. They won't get passed. This motion is always on just one thing: the government enjoys majority or not. If yes, you bring this motion, you lose only. I mean, even when it was brought on for the first time in August 1963, 61 people said yes, yes, we hate the government. NCM, very good. 346 MPs said no, we love the government. Rejected, failed. I think the closest it ever came to being passed was against PV Narasimha Rao. In July 1993, this motion was brought. 251 MPs said yes to this motion, and 265 said no to this NCM. So the government survived with a very narrow majority. Last time was recently only, August 2023, 10th of August, I believe. On that date also, it was brought against Narendra Modi government. And this time, there was no voting also. Voice voting. Of course, 300 plus people in the BJP. Alone. How can this ever be passed? So it makes no sense. In fact, on the previous occasion also, that was in 2018 July, same monsoon session, 5 years ago, this motion was brought, and 135 MPs supported the motion, and roughly 330 MPs were against it. So this has been the case. NCM, no confidence motion. But what actually gets passed, or is normally something that does not get passed, is trust vote. Trust vote is the exact opposite of a NCM. That is why it is also called confidence motion, or also called trust vote. Oh, sorry, it's mentioned there, trust vote, or also called floor test. What is it called? Floor test. What's the meaning of floor test? Testing the strength on the floor of the house. That who controls the house, who commands majority in the house, right? Which party's MPs are more in the house? Trust vote. So when the opposition brings a motion, we call it no confidence. Why? Because they are saying we don't like this government. That's the motion. When the ruling party brings a motion, they say, guys, tell me how many of you like me. Trust vote. How many of you have trust on me? How many of you have confidence in me? How many of you feel we should control the house? We should control the floor. So this is always brought by the ruling party. Again, because government formation takes place only in the Lok Sabha, so this can be brought only in the Lok Sabha. And if NCM is passed, government resigns. And if trust vote is not passed, then government resigns. Because here you are saying, how many of you trust the government? If more yes, then only it's okay. If less yes, fails. Meaning the government should resign. This is what normally is not passed. Are we clear on this? Everybody? For example, what happens is you have won the election, and then now various parties have won some seats. You approach the president and say, President, I will form the government. The president says, do you have the number? You say yes. President says, okay, I give you 15 days or 30 days. We'll have voting after 30 days. Please prove that you have the majority. And then voting takes place. And if more people say yes, that person can continue to form the government. Trust vote. For example, in 1990, VP Singh lost the trust vote. Very famous. Or in 1997, HD Devegowda lost the trust vote. Or in 1996, so what happened in 1996 was that Atal Bihari Vajpayee, on whose birthday now we celebrate what? What do we celebrate on his birthday? Tell me, aspirants. No idea. We celebrate Good Governance Day on his birthday. Okay. 25th of December is a Good Governance Day. Anyway, so Atal Bihari Vajpayee, he said, I will form the government. President said, okay, form the government. Now, he became the prime minister and was then asked, please show us that at that point of time, we had 545 people in the Lok Sabha because we had 2 Anglo-Indians also. Clear? So in this case, how many people required? 273 required. So he was asked, please prove that 273 people have faith in you. Let's see. He started talking to other parties, that parties please vote for me, support me, etc. But parties did not. Eventually, after 13 days, he realized that even if he goes for trust vote, he lose only. So he resigned. Without facing it. So he was the PM for 13 days. But a more interesting thing happened in 1998. So in 1998, Atal Bihari Vajpayee again became the prime minister. This time, he had the support of AIADMK also from Tamil Nadu. So what happened was that after some months, AIADMK said, no, we don't support the government. Sorry. No, we are taking back the support. So opposition started saying that, oh, Mr. Vajpayee, you don't have the confidence majority in the house. Prove it, or else we'll bring a no confidence motion. Vajpayee said, okay, I'll try to prove it. And then voting happened. And when the voting happened, because trust vote also requires what kind of majority? I just mentioned the previous case also. What majority? Simple majority. Okay? Trust vote requires simple majority. So, when the voting took place, 269 people said, yes, I support Mr. Vajpayee. Very good. 270 people said, no, we don't support Mr. Vajpayee. And he lost by how many votes? 1 vote. He had to resign as a prime minister. Then again elections happened. This time he won and continued the full 5-year government from 1999 to 2004. This is the trust vote, which is brought by the parties. And whenever people say Vajpayee lost the NCM, it's a very wrong choice of words, because Vajpayee lost the trust vote. No party has ever lost NCM. Are we clear? It's a government fact. It has been obtained through right to information that NCM was never lost. Simple. One more thing, just to give you one more idea. Take this example. After elections, BJP wins 250 seats, Congress wins 250 seats, and Aam Aadmi Party, let's say, wins 43 seats. This is the result. Let's assume. Now tell me, which two parties have the possibility of forming the government? It's a hung parliament, I agree. My question is, which two parties can form the government? Now, both parties, BJP and Congress, can claim, I will form the government. Both can claim this, actually, because both have the number, right? Now, if this is a situation that more than one member stakes the claim to form the government, that is called composite floor test. When more than one member claims to form government. Are we clear, everybody? So this is what is basically one member means one member, one party, one MP. So basically, Congress will have their own leader. Rahul Gandhi will say, I will be the PM. Narendra Modi says, I will be the PM. And actually, both people can become PM because they may get the support. That's possible. That's why one member, one party. Member here refers to member of the House, MP. That's called composite floor test. Just a word for you to know, in case a statement is asked anywhere, you will not completely be blinded ki what is this unique kind of term. Then next is motion of thanks. Rakesh, I said that the president decides, but president decides that procedure will be called a composite floor test. I'm not saying the people are deciding. Both are claiming I can form the government. The president will decide who to give chance first, or the president can say, okay, let's give both of you a chance together only. People choose this or that. That is the point. Who is questioning that president will not decide? The point is, I can at least lay my claim, stake my claim that I want to form the government. You can't stop me from that. You may not choose me, right? It's like UPSC. UPSC decides based on your marks in the examination. But can UPSC stop you from filling the form? They can't. You can fill up the form. Same thing here. Okay. Need of NCM and trust vote is to ensure that at all points of time, whichever party has formed the government, they enjoy the majority in the House. Clear? Okay. Now, motion of thanks. What is this motion of thanks? It is also called vote of thanks. Actually, also known as vote of thanks. This is again under Lok Sabha rules. No Lakshya, we cannot apply that. Now, a very important point is that transferability of votes is only for president's election. Single transferable vote. You can't use it in other places. No, Lakshmi, coalition government is possible anywhere. Why only in state? Center also. Now, coming to this motion of thanks, do you remember Article 87 by any chance? Article 87 said that the president gives a speech, right? President speech. Let me tell you something. The speech given by the president is not prepared by the president. Even the speech is not prepared by him. That speech address is actually prepared by the ruling party. And that is why the speech contains the policy achievements of the government. Contains policy achievements. Or the indication of future agenda. What we are going to do in the future. So all great things about the government, right? Now, Article 87 says, this Article 87, this article says that House can make rules to discuss on the motion or the speech. Discuss the motion. So House has made rules. Rule 16 to Rule 24 in the Lok Sabha rules. What to do with this kind of motion. So basically, when the president gives a speech, that speech is brought table in the House in the form of a proposal. And people in Lok Sabha must vote on the speech and must approve it. They have to. Are we clear? So the moment the president's speech is given, the one MP who is from the ruling party largely will get up and take this proposal, the speech, and place it in the House. That House, Lok Sabha, please pass it. And Lok Sabha must pass it. If it is not passed in the Lok Sabha, the government may have to resign. Why? Why will the government have to resign? Tell me. If this speech is not passed, why should the government resign? Simple logic. You are voting in the Lok Sabha on the government's achievement. In the Lok Sabha, who has the majority? Government has a majority. How can this thing not be passed in the Lok Sabha? It is impossible. This must be passed because you are controlling the House. And if the House doesn't believe you, then what's the point? So basically, this means or this amounts to no confidence. Are we clear? Whenever any such thing is not passed in the House, it actually shows that the MPs don't support you in the House. That is why this must be passed. In the Rajya Sabha, it may or may not be passed. We don't care. Motion of thanks. Then adjournment motion. Let me clarify. It is adjournment motion, not the adjournment of sitting. That is different. This is now a motion, a proposal. Adjournment proposal. Now see, when it comes to the discussion in the House, after 2 p.m., that is after lunch, we know what happens in the House. What happens? We simply are going to discuss the legislative business. Bills are being discussed, etc. All these things only. But what if you want to discuss not on the bill, but on something very, very important? Matter of urgent public importance. If you want to discuss this matter of urgent public importance, then what do we do? Now you have to wait for next day, 0 hour. That's the only option, because question hour is at least 15 days of time. At least. And that too, there is no guarantee that your question will be picked. So sometimes the agenda for the day is set that at 2 o'clock, this minister will bring their bill. At 2:30, we'll discuss that committee report, etc. Everything is fixed. But right now, I want the government to respond that what steps is the Home Ministry taking to control the situation in Manipur. Please respond. We can't wait. Respond. So this bill passage and all can wait. Lives of people at stake, that cannot wait. Right? The house is demolished in Delhi. What steps is the government taking to rehabilitate the people whose jhuggi jhopdis and slums have been demolished? Right? So the point is, urgent public importance matters. We want a discussion right now, today only. We can't wait for tomorrow. No 0 question hour, 1 hour. We want a comprehensive discussion, detailed discussion. So here, one more thing. The minimum debate time is 2.5 hours. You have to have at least 2.5 hours minimum of debate on the topic. So it can't be a small topic. It must be a comprehensively large topic to debate on. Okay, now the point here is this kind of motion can be brought only in the Lok Sabha. Point number one. Point number two, at least 50 MPs must support it. And if this motion is if this motion is accepted, then the debate must go on for 2.5 hours, and then the entire agenda is suspended. That all the bills later on we'll discuss later on. Right now, this topic. Are we clear? 0 hour has a problem of time limitation, because 0 hour is meant for basic topics raised by multiple MPs, right? Multiple MPs on individual ministers' performance also. Here, we want the government to respond. Any minister can respond, but the government to respond. And we want a comprehensive, detailed discussion, which cannot be undertaken in just half an hour or 1 hour. That is why 2.5 hours of debate time is given for this. Clear? And of course, it should involve the responsibility of Government of India. Don't ask why is the booking for the movie Jawan real or fake. These questions can't be asked. Are we clear? So this is there with respect to adjournment motion. Now, just a small point. Can this same concept be used in Rajya Sabha? Yes, but they have a different name for it. In Rajya Sabha, similar concept exists. Not the same, but a similar concept exists, and that is called Rule 267. So it's one rule basically where the agenda for the day is suspended. Agenda of day is suspended and discussion on matters of urgent public importance. Clear? Same thing. Same thing. Here, one difference is any MP can raise the motion Unlike in the case of adjournment motion, 50 MPs must sign. Here, a single MP also can raise this motion. Clear? Of course, you have to get the approval of the chairperson. If he approves, only then can this motion be discussed. For example, it was discussed, this was raised in 2016 on demonetization, right? The entire agenda was suspended and we discussed on this matter only. Clear? This is there. Normally, the MPs are careful in asking these things. Frankly, to tell you, such motions are normally asked around 3:34 because MPs also know if you raise this motion at 5:45, 5:50, MPs are just now stretching their muscles and all, ready to go back home. And some MPs say, wait, adjournment motion. Now you have to sit for 2.5 hours. Remember your school days when the class teacher used to leave, and just before that, somebody said, Madam Doubts, how much you hated the student, kill him immediately. Same thing. So ideally, it is said that MPs use this motion at around 3:34 to ensure that the house does not function too long. So an example of this was the Manipur discussion. The opposition wanted a discussion under this rule only, that they wanted the PM to come. Rule 267. Clear? That is called a general motion in the Lok Sabha, and there is no such name in the Rajya Sabha, but a similar kind of concept is there, which is under Rule 267. Clear? Then we have privilege motion. Very interesting. Privilege motion. So what is this? See, in the parliament, MPs have to show respect towards other members and also towards the house. So you cannot make statements which are derogatory to the house. So please don't do anything which violates the parliamentary privilege given to you. What's the privilege of every member? The privilege is that you are free to speak, express your opinion in the house, free completely, and the court will never come to you, arrest you for that. Are we clear? Whatever you say in the house will not be called into question in any court. So that freedom of speech is there. But the problem is, our MP sometimes cross that limit and may use some language which is referred to as unparliamentary language. Unparliamentary language. Now, every year a list of books, a list of words is released by the parliament, and it contains unparliamentary language, meaning those words that you cannot use. So what will happen is, if as an MP you use those words, what happens? So every day, whatever you say, everything goes on record in the debates. They're available. Every day's discussion is available on records, right? It is saved in copies. But if you use unparliamentary language, those things are removed from records. So these things are deleted from records. And this is what is called expunction. We call it has been expunged by the which person? Of course, the boss, presiding officer. Expunction. For example, you cannot use the word chor, gaddar, chaukidar, chor hai, all these things. Right? Recently, these words have been added. Don't think of big words, please. Okay? What you're thinking of, that cannot be uttered only. Please. These words only. Now, the point is, if at any point of time you make such statements, or you start criticizing the president only, Supreme Court judges only, So let me remind you, the conduct of judges cannot be discussed in the House. The behavior of high functionaries can't be discussed in the House. Clear? If at all you do this, then some member can move this motion if he feels that another member has committed a breach of the privilege of the House. Clear? So what is going to happen actually is, some member says, Speaker, Chairman, see, he is misbehaving, using wrong words. And then you can complain to Speaker. The Speaker can form a committee. Oh, you five people, come here. Look at this. See what he has said and give me a report. Right? And once a report is given, the Speaker can decide what action to take. They can suspend the person. They can scold the person. Don't behave like this. Nonsense. They can suspend the person, or they can also expel you. Membership gone, disqualified. Like in your school days, if you misbehaved, the teacher could slap you. Not nowadays. Nowadays, you cannot slap a kid, because then all these commissions will come to you, right? Not in the rural areas. You see all the videos, right, of the kids being slapped by teachers in rural areas. I hope must have seen all these memes, especially that meme where this kid popped some kind of cracker, and then the teacher caught hold of him and started slapping him, right? So anyway, the point is that if the teacher no beats you, punishment; scolds you, punishment; can be suspended also for a few days, don't come to school, good for you only, or can be expelled also. Same things can be done here as well. That is called a privilege motion. Are we clear on this? So this is there. Next, we have a very interesting tool which is there in our country. And what is that? That is called calling attention motion. It is not really important, just because we have thought of it, so we have to read it. Calling attention motion. As you can see the figure, the photograph here, it is exactly what it means, right? So it gives members an opportunity to bring to the surface the failure or inadequate action of government on a matter of urgent public importance. So sometimes, guys, what is going on there, what the both are doing, I have to explain the meme also now. I just got a minor heart attack, it seems. Oh. Anyway, guys, if you can't understand it, ignore it. Nonsense. This is not important. Focus on this content. Okay? Now, so the point here is, after 2 o'clock, again, same story. See, before 2 o'clock, you have question hour, zero hour, blah, blah, blah. But after 2 o'clock, if I really want to raise some concern, I want the minister, a specific minister, to respond on the concern. Right? So what will I do? I'm saying, I am calling to attention of the minister. And what are you doing? In your ministry, this is happening. Are we clear? So it is just to get a response from the minister. Minister responds, task over. That's it. No voting, nothing, no scolding, nothing is happening. It is just selectively done for a small moment to get the response of minister on a certain topic. Calling attention. Are we clear? So we can simply raise this proposal in the House, and we can say, will the minister be pleased to respond? What steps is he taking with respect to some kind of topic in the country? That's it. In his ministry. Done. And since we have thought of it, that is why we just need to know that calling attention motion and zero hour, these two things we have created. See, we have borrowed all these things from other countries, frankly. Zero hour, question hour, it is not some Indian innovation. Question hour is there since 1893, borrowed from UK. Are we clear? But we have brought our own inputs into the day-to-day activities of the parliament. One such thing is zero hour. Second such thing is the calling attention motion. Clear? That's it. This is called calling attention motion. And lastly, we have censure motion. What is censure motion? Censure motion, somewhat like NCM, but has no practical implication. It's the most useless motion that you can think of. Basically, what this means is this motion firstly can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha, but unlike NCM, it can be introduced against entire government or individual ministers. Both. NCM can be introduced against entire government only, but a censure motion can be introduced against one minister or entire government. Clear? Now, for bringing NCM, you need not give any kind of reason. But to bring a censure motion, you have to give reasons why you think that you want to initiate this proposal. And then voting takes place. And if this proposal is passed, it amounts to severe reprimand. What's the meaning of reprimand? Reprimand means to formally scold, okay, to formally criticize. So that minister against whom this motion is passed, it will be assumed that the house has scolded him or her. Nothing happens officially, right? Think of this. You are sitting in your room pretending to study, but you are watching something YouTube shorts or Instagram on your mobile phone, and your father crosses and looks at you, waits for 10 seconds, stares at you, right? And you look at him, and you then with shame put the phone down, and he moves out. What has he done? He has scolded you. Nothing has happened. No slaps, no chappals, no belts, nothing. But he has just scolded you. That's the same thing that happens. Clear? Don't think that the minister is called, stand in front, people throw stones on his body. Nothing of this sort happens. It is just assumed that the house has collectively scolded the minister. Should the minister resign? He should resign. Will he resign? He will never resign. Why should he resign? He'll say, no, no concern. Right? In our country, there is no respect for scolding and all. Scolding does not work. Look at your life also, right? Bhuvnesh asks a question. If my parents scold me, is any law? There is no law. And that's a problem, Bhuvnesh. They have been scolding you for so long. Has it worked? And for others also, it has not worked. Thrashing works, right? That effort is required from the parent side to thrash the kid properly, so that in future they don't end up asking these kind of questions in the class. Anyway, so I just give a very interesting anecdote. So back in the 1940s, when we had the interim government of India, Pandit Nehru, Asha is asking what is thrashing. Arey sir, beating sir, beating. So Pandit Nehru and Sardar Patel, who was the deputy prime minister before 1950, before his death. So see, Pandit Nehru and Sardar Patel were people who were completely opposed to each other in terms of the world view and how they wanted the policies, right and left wing concept. So Sardar Patel once wrote a letter to Nehru saying that, sir, if you don't like my way of working, I'll resign. To which Nehru responded that no. If you don't like my way of working, I will resign. Look at those leaders and those days, that they are willing to resign but not compromise with their values. Can it be thought of today? It's unthinkable. Today, if you raise any concern against a minister that you are doing something wrong, the minister will say, oh, you have a problem with me. It is your problem. You resign. Why will I resign? That's how times have changed from 1950s to today. Politics has changed completely. Anyway, censure motion. Now, before we end our discussion, Just a small point, not a point, I mean, we have discussed this, but I want to write this specifically here. Some motions can be introduced only in Lok Sabha, other motions in either house. NCM, only Lok Sabha. Trust vote, only Lok Sabha. Motion of thanks, either house. Adjournment motion, only Lok Sabha. Privilege motion, either house. Calling attention, either house. And censure motion, only Lok Sabha. Clear? Solve this question right in front of you. These kind of questions can be asked from this topic. Please mark the answer. 45 seconds to you. Divyanshi, for yes, correct. We did not have that concept because of the concept of accountability. But later on in 1990 onwards, we have a similar kind of procedure. Okay? Yes, Pihu. Now, just a simple topic, resolutions. So what is a resolution? It is nothing but substantive motion, meaning any kind of proposal which is formal in nature, meaning it's a properly written proposal and there must be voting. That's called a resolution. Simple. That's it. If the resolution is brought by a non-minister, what do we call it? A private member resolution. If it is brought by government, we call it government resolution. And sometimes these resolutions are actually mentioned in the articles. If you today do one thing, go and read this article 67B again. Okay, please do this, take this effort to read this article on your own, and you will find the use of this word actually there, resolution. How is this resolution used there? Because if you read the article, it very clearly says 67B, which is the removal of the vice president, that a vice president may be removed from his office by a resolution, meaning motion, proposal of the Council of States, passed by a majority of all the then members of the council and agreed to by the House of the People. A resolution. Or it can be NCM, it can be Article 61. All these are examples of statutory resolutions. So either of the two, meaning either a minister or a private member, can bring this kind of resolution. Clear? And it is tabled in pursuance of a provision of a law or the constitution. Clear on this? That is called a resolution. Nothing. It is just a substantive motion. Any proposal which is a written proposal and requires voting is called a resolution. Okay? Done. We are done with all these things. Now the time for budget, the annual financial statement. So before we discuss budget, let me tell you, this word budget is not mentioned in the constitution. What is mentioned? Annual financial statement is mentioned. Are we clear, guys? What is mentioned? Annual financial statement. Budget word is not mentioned. Anyway, nowadays the government does not use the word budget. They use bahi khata, right? Bahi khata. So this annual financial statement is mentioned under Article 112. Look at this. The lady in picture. Who is she? This lady, finance minister. And what is this? So they have the government has become more tech savvy. So this time it was an e-budget. This was brought in a tablet, right? And this is the cover of the tablet. You can purchase this cover also. The government is not selling it. You can purchase this cover of tablet online also. Anyway, so this is Nirmala Sitharaman, and not used or mentioned in the constitution. So it's a statement of estimated receipts and expenditure of the government of India in a financial year. Okay, in a financial year, what is the total amount of money that the government will receive and how much money will the government spend? This is what is mentioned in the budget or the Bahi Khata. Okay, and who prepares the budget? Tell me. Of course, you will say that the budget is prepared by the Ministry of Finance, but a slightly more detailed information. Budget is prepared by budget division in the this is the division in the Department of Economic Affairs, and this is in the which ministry? Ministry of Finance. Okay, this is the ministry which prepares the budget and the department, because the Ministry of Finance has 6 different departments: Department of Expenditure, Revenue, Financial Services, DPAM, Public Enterprises, and Economic Affairs. So that is a department which prepares the budget. Then the budget is presented by Finance Minister, without doubt, and on in the Lok Sabha. She presents it in the which house? Lok Sabha. On first working day of February. Okay, first working day of February, the budget is prepared. Clear? Now, what time? 11 a.m. Because till 1998, the budget was read at 5:30 or at 5 p.m. Clear on this? Now, just a small piece of information for you. It's an old information. Merger of railway budget committee. Okay, these things not important, just mentioning this. This Ackworth committee gave a recommendation that we should get the budget removed, the railway budget removed from the general budget. Why? See, frankly, back in 1920s, the railway budget was almost 84% of the total budget. So there's no logic whatsoever to having the budget with railway budget there, because Britishers had no interest in spending money on health and defense and all these things. They only wanted to strengthen railways to transport raw materials. Anyway, so this was separation. So we used to present the railway budget separately and the other budget separately. It was only in 2016 that Bibek Debroy committee recommended that we should merge it again, because now it serves no logic, because now the government spends a lot of money on defense, health, etc. So since 2017 it is merged and presented together. Okay, presented together. And this was done on the recommendation of Bibek Debroy. We'll discuss what are the various stages in the passage of the budget. Okay, no problem. Two aspirants, please tell me. I have written the article, at least mention the clause for me now. Here also, parliamentary law is required to take out money from CFI. Anyway, 2 is correct. What about 3? People here, remember I had mentioned this point that in the PAI, public accounts, our money is kept. PF account money is kept. You want to get a marriage ceremony, you want to go and marry, you take out your PF money. Do you think the parliamentary meeting will be held? Sitting? MPs are passing a proposal that, oh, Mr. ABC is getting married, let's meet and pass a bill. Of course not. These are in the nature of banking transactions. Hence, all disbursements made from public account also need the authorization. Is wrong. They don't need the authorization. Right? So this is wrong. This is wrong. C is correct. That's it. Clear? Disbursement. Ashay sir related from this. So what's going to happen is, look with you, right? You go to your friend and say, come on, give me a book and get a photocopy done. 50 rupees. Task is over. Movie. Torrent download. Illegal activity. Rampant activity in the country. 10 rupees. Done. Task over. Now you spend the remaining 1940 rupees on costly products. On to a movie. Don't cry. Personal problems, keep to yourself. In future, you will. But if you ask these kind of, what is the expected amount of revenue? How will they get the money? Tell me. How will the Ministry of Finance get money? Revenue. From where? Last year, ministries have thought of spending some money on some schemes, and all these ministries are demanding some money from Ministry of Finance. Every ministry is demanding money. Demand for what? For granting money. Please grant me some money. Please give me some money. This is what happens. It's happening right now. What they'll do is they lock themselves up. Is in college exam, same result, effort. Don't think that the finance minister prepares the halwa. People are go inside the budget. That is called presentation of the budget or introduction of the budget. Right? So once the budget is enjoy. Have a look. And once Rajya Sabha has read the budget, they just have to be happy with it. The very next says, what is the red box? What red box? After the next day, as I said, the entire articles full of first stage presentation. See, the idea is very simple: introduction, discussion, voting. Just the names are different. So here we call the introduction as presentation. By the finance minister on the first working day of February. Okay. After the speech, it is laid down in the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha is, after the finance minister gives a speech, a copy is thrown. Come on, Rajya Sabha. I mean, not thrown, given to Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha, please take it. Read it to your heart's content. We discuss. Clear? This is the very first stage called the presentation stage. Next, general discussion. Over the course of next few days in the Lok Sabha, general discussion is held. So what happens here is around 1 or 2 weeks largely. Expenditure is also discussed. Charged expenditure is discussed. And then the houses are adjourned for, sorry, not a week, small error here. It is not a week, but for almost 3 to 4 weeks. So basically in these 8-10 days, and then the house is adjourned. The houses are adjourned. Now, why are the houses adjourned? What's the purpose of it? So the houses are adjourned for a very, very important reason. Now think of this entire budget. It's a very complicated and difficult exercise. If you place the entire budget in the parliament, the MPs will get completely confused what to discuss first, what to vote first. Plus, this is a technical exercise. Most MPs may not have knowledge of it. So the budget is broken into small parts. Every ministry's budget is taken out separately, and all these things are sent to what we call as committees. Just like a bill is sent to a committee, these are also sent to committees. Which committees are they sent to? DRSCs. There are 24 such DRSCs, departmentally related standing committee. The full form is mentioned here, don't worry. Don't panic at all. Okay? Demand of ministries are referred to these committees. So basically, the 21 from Lok Sabha and 10 from Rajya Sabha. So these MPs can selectively, let's say a departmentally related standing committee on defense, it can look into the defense demand and can prepare a report that what is good, pros and cons. Reports can be prepared, various reports are prepared, and all these reports are then sent to the presiding officer of Lok Sabha. That look at this, we have prepared a report, what is good, what is bad for all these demands. Clear? So these committees do what? Prepare reports. Once the reports are prepared, then the MPs can discuss on these reports. The reports are then submitted to the House. Once the House receives the report, then the MPs now can say, oh, now the budget has been explained properly. Now we can fight and argue and vote whether to accept these demands or not. So after that, the so normally, like this time, the committee stage was from this date keeps on changing. So don't mug up the date. I'm just giving an example of how this functions actually. 12/03/23. This was a situation, or this was a time where the house was in recess because it was adjourned. Sittings were not happening because MPs were a part of these DRSCs, which were preparing reports on the budget. Once this is done, it is sent to the DRSC. Reports are tabled in the House and discussions take place on these reports. Now, what discussions take place? How are the reports approved, or how is the budget approved, etc.? We'll discuss day after tomorrow, because tomorrow is a holiday. Are we clear? So that let's end our discussion here only. Now, I know tomorrow is a holiday, but please ensure that you study effectively. So let me just don't run away, just wait. Tomorrow is a holiday because of Janmashtami. Number two, you can gist. Okay? Monthly magazine. Did you even attend the class yesterday? Okay, the topper list has drastically reduced. So now Shubha and Satyam, Sanjana, BK Vibhu, Chal, I'm sure. Okay, I request again to all of you, please revise. It is extremely important. And happy Janmashtami to all of you, all those people who celebrate it. And for others, Jai Hind. Vishal, firstly, okay. Sir, discuss Soyab. You simply, I said, please explain Nyaya Sanhita bill. You don't even need to know the bill, firstly. Budget is important for 2024. The budget of 2024 is important. Also 2023, because next year's budget is going to be an interim budget only. 23 also. For April, and the government can start spending money from the 1st of April. That is why. Yuvraj, the other house cannot pressurize, but the president can call for a joint sitting if required. Both the options have different syllabus size, etc. So I don't see it as I mean, they're violating the decorum and decency of the house. Then somebody can complain, raise this motion, and the speaker or the chairman can punish the person. Simple. That's it. They prepare reports and submit it. We'll discuss these things later on tomorrow. I mean, day after tomorrow. There can be joint sittings, Yuvraj. Can raise this motion or proposal to ask the House to collectively scold the minister. Mayank Wadhwani, nothing constituencies. Of the government are sent to these committees. That's it. Demand of ministries are referred to these committees. That's it. Yes, they've seen a decent optional without doubt. Very popular as well. Regular language. Trust vote. Tamal, trust vote basically refers to, yes, Krishna, you can leave. Trust vote of majority in the House. Always. So if at any point in time they don't, they should resign. Trust. Okay. So